So many thanks for putting those statistics and figures out for everybody. But to help understand the domestic pressure and look at it from the political lens, Nirmal Abraham with us on the broadcast. Nirmal, many thanks for taking on the time. Back in the home, we know that in Florida, 2 legislative seats have already gone to the Democrats. There is rising scrutiny. We're talking about costs, oil prices. There is war fatigue. A particular question to the Secretary of War was also about the ground invasion. So, what's the sentiment like? Over there, how much of domestic pressure is shaping up Donald Trump's shifting of these war goals? Because, like the ambassador said, like the general said, there seems to be no, clear-cut consensus on what's really happening here, and that puts the Iranian regime, on the front foot, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you assess the war from the outside, it does put Iran on the front foot because being the underdog, all they had to do was survive, and they have successfully survived. Now, just speaking of the domestic pressure, I think if you look at what made Trump the president, it was part of it was social media, part of it was student organizations, another part of it was mainstream media, including Fox News and Newsmax. All of these people, at least some of these elements, are now moving against Trump. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Steve Bannon, even the late Charlie Kirk, even the insider Thomas Massey, all of them have moved out stating one particular reason, and that is this: why are you not America first? We chose you because you promised that you will be America first. Why are you being Israel first? This is what they've been saying, and their audience is also listening, and you could see it from the polls that were out last month,
Yeah.
since the beginning of the war. Trump's popularity is on the decline. That's one. Two, when does it affect the voter? Because the voter is the taxpayer. He is the regular guy on the street. So a taxpayer, because when you look at the war, the expense of the war in the first 2 weeks, the average expense was close to 1.6 billion US dollars for the missiles, the interceptors, the logistics, you name it. 1.6 billion US dollars. And where do they spend this money from? From the taxpayers' money.
Yep.
And the rest of it adds up to the national debt. You know how much the national debt of the US right now is? 39 trillion. Yes, it is the largest economy in the world. 31 trillion economy, but with a $39 trillion
Wow,
debt.
those are big numbers. And no wonder Jared Kushner is knocking doors across all the Gulf countries trying to rack up all the money that he can to support this war.
Right, and the worst part about it is that if you look at statistics, as one of the panelists mentioned, statistics, the U.S. is at its worst debt to GDP ratio since World War II. I will repeat that: since World War II, 125% debt to GDP ratio. That shows how bad things are there. And for the regular guy, the U.S. said before the war that we will not be affected because we have the oil producing capability of Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, UAE, and China combined. So let's not worry about oil prices. But oil prices have shot up by 45%, gas prices, petrol prices by 45%,
Yep.
diesel prices
Yep.
by 40%. That's affecting the regular man. Inflationary trends are starting to show up. So all of these factors combined shows that Trump will be in trouble when it comes to the midterm elections. But the question is he bothered by it? Because this is his last term, because it's Trump. I'm just saying, I mean, this is his last term, his legacy term. He has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Who has to face the heat in 2026 and 28? It's either Rubio or JD Vance. Trump does not have to face the heat. So, there are questions about his intentions. There are questions about why he's going Israel first. There are questions about why the American military or the ground troops have to go to Karg Island and not the Israeli military.
Yep.
And I don't know if we should believe the story that Pete Hegseth said, because a lot of U.S. soldiers, one of them is my friend. I'm not supposed to say his name, but he said to me that a lot of soldiers are upset because back in 2001 and 2003, when they invaded Iraq and Afghanistan, there was a cost. There was a
Yep.
sentiment. It was 9/11. Even people watching on TV had that sentiment. Today, there is no cost. There is no sentiment. If you ask them, the
Yep.
Americans do not have, a burning desire or sentiment to go out there and risk their lives for a war that is supposedly Israel's.